Hi Jeremiah, I just wanted to put this together this video to give you a hand with this bake, figure out what's going on with these models, and yeah, see if we can get it working. Also thought this would be a good opportunity to start looking at the Marmoset Baker. I think this is a really good baker to use if you are getting these sort of problems in future because it gives you a lot more visual feedback, so you can actually see what's going on in terms of the bake. So what I'm going to do to start with is just import both of your models here. So bush low, bush high. Let's grab both of those, bring them in the scene. So the first thing I asked you, which you already confirmed, is that they are in the same position, scale of both the models. I've also set up two materials over here, a red and a blue one. I'm just going to drag the green on low and the red over here onto high, just so we can clearly see the difference between the two. We've also got little eyes next to those models where I can flick these on and off. So we can see there's the green low poly and there's the high sitting on top of it. So yeah, like you said, position and scale seems to be okay. Now I would probably say that the scale is a little bit off though, and I think that's probably what's causing the issues here. You can see it quite clearly here actually underneath that high is sitting quite a long distance away from where that low is sitting here. The low is quite small and scaled inwards. Now this will probably still work in terms of a bake, but the problem will be is if we go to the cage, and to do that in Marmoset we first need to create a baker here. So we hit this little loaf of bread to create the baker, and then we've got a bake group with a high and a low. So we drag the low into low, high into high, and then we come to this little low section here and we can see the cage. Oh, it's also hidden our high. Let's bring that back. So the cage itself is what's pulling in the details, right? This is how the whole bake process works. In order for you to be able to bake out these textures, this cage that is part of the low poly needs to it pushes it grabs stuff within it, right? So it needs to encompass the high poly, or otherwise it won't see any of the details. Right now, it's barely even close to hitting the outside perimeter of where the high is sitting. And this would be the problem with Substance Painter. So the way you'd fix it in Substance Painter is you need to play with the max rear and front distances. There's two sliders, right underneath it. If you see the baker, hold on, I'll grab the. So I don't have it open, but I can grab a quick picture. So these two sliders just there, front and rear distances. These affect the cage and what the cage is picking up with your baker. But like I said, in Substance Painter, it's kind of hard to see what's going on because you're just doing it through these slider settings, hitting bake, and then seeing the results. In Marmoset, we can actually see the cage, and we can see if there are problems, and we can update the cage as we're going. So let's set this up so it's ready to do a bake. First off, let's just come back to Bake Project and set up an output path. So I'm just going to come in here, set a new photo, we'll call this Jeremiah, call this Bush. Alright, and for now, let's just leave everything as default. We'll come back down to low so we can start fixing this cage though, which is the problem. So here we affect the cage here with these sliders. We've got a max offset, and I'm going to dial this max offset until this cage fits all of the red high poly details within it. So I'm going to go all the way up to about there. Right? Now, with Marmoset, it's also set to do an auto bake, so as long as you've set up an output path, which I have, anytime we do any changes with this cage, it's automatically going to update and do a new bake. So we actually just did a bake there. I don't have to hit a bake button or anything, it's already done it. So to see what we've done, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to come up to the bake project. Here's all the settings. You've got this H and L button here. This is a quick way to hide the high or the low. I'm going to hit H to hide the high. I'm just looking at the low here. You can see down here, these are the maps I baked out. So all I had ticked on was normal, so that's all I've baked out. If I hit this little button next to the map, I can preview the map, and there we go. There's the null map. There's also this P button, which is really cool because that previews a material. It assigns a material with the null map already set up and applied to it. So you can see there's no problems with the map now. We've got all the leaves baked down and all that. So we could start turning on these additional maps now if we wanted. If we wanted to grab all the Substance Painter maps, we'd need position, thickness, curvature, normals, AO, that's all of those maps. You've got the resolution of the textures that we're baking out here, so 2K, that's quite high for these bushes. You could probably get by with 1K, but yeah, 1K or 2K would probably be the way to go there. But that's pretty much it. Then you should be good to go. Also note, if you're going to be baking maps out of Marmoset and bringing them into Substance Painter later on, it's important that you come into the normal map and you actually want to change this. So you want to hit this little button right here, say flip Y, and do the same thing with this one, flip Y. Or you can come into Substance Painter, which again I don't have open, and switch from DirectX to OpenGL, which it's under, you hit the edit button, here it is, edit project configuration. This a button like this will come up, and you want to switch normal map format to OpenGL, and then all your normal maps will read correctly because it'll yeah, you don't need to flip anything then. Anyway, that's it. I'll leave the video there. You should be good from then, and yeah, let me know if you have any other troubles moving forward.